Learning foreign languages and being able to use them skillfully can open you many doors for your study and career. English, especially being the most international important language, can enable you to study, to travel and work abroad. The IELTS, the International English Language Testing System, is internationally recognized paper, which is the proof of your English proficiency. All around the world, as well as in Uzbekistan, wide range of people take the test. In our program, we meet and interview successful IELTS candidates who can share their experience and valuable factors that led them to their success. This is Begzat Haitov and welcome to Insight. Welcome to Insight, Shohsanam.
Thank you.
Actually, you are the first participant of this program. You are the first lady coming to this program and giving interview, and I'm really happy to have you here, Shohsanam. I will mention again, Shohsanam is just a 16-year-old teenager and got 7.5 in IELTS. That's really amazing score. Yep. Shohsanam, today we will talk about everything that helped you to score this such admirable IELTS band score. But first of all, let's start from the background of your coming to this language, how you became interested. So can you tell us, when did you start learning English?
Right, it was actually when I was at the 8th grade when I actually realized that I don't know English at all. All my classmates were speaking English and all I could say was hello and goodbye and sorry teacher. And I was really disappointed and I felt like if my classmates can learn and it sounds wonderful, why can't I do this? And then a month later I went to my first English center and there I was told that I'm hopeless in English.
Yeah,
I had very bad pronunciation, I couldn't talk, I was really shy, my grammar was awful as I used to mix sentences and my teacher would always go mad and by punishing me. However, it didn't break me and I started working on myself. I wanted to prove everyone that I'm not hopeless, I'm not, as they consider me, a very bad student, and I started to working on myself, and after 3 years I can see that my work has been fruitful.
Yeah, thank you, Shohsanam. Well, despite the fact that your teachers told you that you are hopeless, you are useless, you were not discouraged actually. Yes, you took the courage and continued, and yeah, here's success. Yes, good. So why did you decide to take the IELTS exam? Yes, because some students, some candidates, they just they prefer to learn the language for themselves, and some of them avoid taking the test for some reasons. But why have you decided to take the test?
Well, I think it is because of my inquisitiveness. I really love knowing everything, and when I heard about IELTS and that it was impossible from our teachers, that it is very hard, I got interested. I wanted to see what is it? Why do our English teachers say that it is really complicated for them? And when I read and when I knew that it is a system which assesses my knowledge, I wanted to see what improvements I have made from time I started. And secondly, IELTS was, I've heard the word IELTS everywhere in my class, when my teachers told, my parents were speaking about it, and I discovered for myself that it was kind of a way, it was a thing that helped me to enter the university as my dream, which seemed just like dream to me and something impossible. And when I discovered that there are people who take this exam and after their dreams come true, their parents are proud of them, and I said myself like, Shohsanam, you're going to take this IELTS.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Well, now let's talk about your preparation process actually. You know, when students come to the class, come to the center first time, they start from general courses, yes, and general courses will take some time, yes, before they switch to IELTS, yeah. So how long did it take you to, let's say, complete first of all general courses and switch to the IELTS courses, and how long the IELTS courses took from you? Now, can you tell us about it?
Right, as I studied in Almaz Educational Center, there our studying year starts in September, and 4 months were concentrated on grammar. And it was pre-IELTS course too, which made me amazed really, because as far as I know, in other establishments it takes up to 2-3 years, and here I got the knowledge which I could have still been learning. And then other 5 months I concentrated on my IELTS and worked on it only. But actually, honestly, I started learning IELTS on my own when I got these materials. It was on the third or second month of our general English. And I'm really inquisitive, as I said before, and I was working on my laptop, and I looked through all those files. I found listening audios. I put on one and I didn't get anything. And this made me angry. I started doing it again and again. I found many amazing books. I started reading them, and this was the factor that made my studying in IELTS group much easier, because I've already done things beforehand.
Okay, thank you, Shohsanam. Well, that's really good that before switching to IELTS, you came up with the materials and you decided to start the IELTS on your own without the guidance of your teacher. It's also actually which makes you stand out among other students. Okay. IELTS. Now let's cover your IELTS preparation process. Okay. We know the criteria, the aspects. There are 4 aspects, which are listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So which was the most challenging aspect for you?
The most challenging for me was listening at first. As I said before, I didn't understand it. Then on the second place was writing. When I saw that diagrams, my head was like it was going to blow up because I didn't understand it. Then was speaking, because when I listened to native speakers, I realized that my speech is a bit different, and I started feeling really complex about it. I started worrying about it, and reading actually was my favorite. As I read many books, it was an opportunity for me to read the bestseller books such as Harry Potter, Meet Before You, in their original language.
Thank you, Shohsanam. It's not easy for a 16-year-old teenager to get such a high score. I know many candidates. IELTS today is really catching on in Uzbekistan. It's becoming more and more successful. Candidates are achieving amazing scores, but in your age, and not everyone can achieve that. So what do you think were the most contributing factors to your such high results?
All right, thank you for your compliment. Actually, it sounds for me like this, but I think it's not about the age, because age is just a number for a person. What matters is a desire of person, an attitude towards something. If a person takes IELTS seriously, he would pay enough attention, persistence, and will do his best. And I was told this actually at the time I was studying in IELTS group. I was 15. I've just aged 16 when I had a test, and still many people told me that I'm too young and I'm not expected to get more than 6 or 7. But it was just I tried to go further and don't listen to them, because I told myself that wherever they say, it isn't important as long as I listen to myself. And mentioning the factors, I suppose that my persistence and hard working made their job, and now I can see that I didn't waste my time, because I used to do every day one test, full listening, full reading, speaking and writing sections. I did even more, because when I was studying with my mother, she used to miss some lessons and I had to do double homework, 4 essays, and it really helped me. Although I was angry and I had some quarrels with my mother at that time, but now I feel really grateful for my mother, and I want to thank her for making me do twice more homework.
Well, Shohsanam, we have been talking about your success in IELTS, and I talked to a lot of teachers about the age, the matter of age actually, and some of them think that the age does not matter when you take the IELTS, but the rest, for example, in the opinion that when students take the IELTS exam, they have to reach a certain age. Actually, it's not recommended for students under 16, yeah, but your example can be kind of proof for those who think that the age may be kind of barrier. Yes, so do you think you have features that I know that some candidates talk about perseverance, yes, they talk about consistency, some of them talk about one of the factors is luck. Yes, you have to be lucky for that. But do you think you have some unique features that really make you stand out among your peers, actually, that others do not have? Do you think you have some this kind of features, actually, or you are the similar to others, just only with perseverance, with consistency, you achieved the success? What do you think about it?
Right, really interesting question for me. And in my point of view, everyone is unique, whether they want to admit it or not. No one is the same. Someone is good in art, someone is mathematics, like this, okay? And when they ask me what I have featured which is outstanding, I think it's my confidence. I'm really blooming with it. Wherever I go, even if I make a mistake, I make it with a proud face, like as if I'm doing something right. And the second thing is that I forgot about my laziness while I was studying, and I really I missed a lot of my favorite football matches. I sacrificed them in order to get a good mark, and I think sometimes a person's ability to choose what is right and what is wrong is an outstanding. And I don't think that I am kind of a person who is really the best or has something that no one else has. Everyone has these features, but some pay attention to those. They stress them, and others just close their eyes on this and they miss it.
Yeah, and the next question that I would like to ask you, in order to achieve something, you have to sacrifice something. Yes. So in your case, what did you sacrifice?
Okay.
Was there something that you had to sacrifice in order to get this IELTS 7.5 actually?
Right, there were lots of things, and when I remember it was a sad feeling, but overall, actually I sacrificed my free time. I used to lie on my bed doing nothing, sitting on social networks as every teenager does. But when I understood that I should change my future, I can't lie. I won't be paid some money if I lie. It's not an experiment for me, and then I had to sacrifice that. I didn't stop actually. Sometimes I watched. My parents don't know about it. It's a secret. I didn't watch football matches which started at 12 or at 1 a.m. because I had to get enough sleep in order to help my brains to assist them, because they are everything I have. And I had to cancel many meetings with my friends. Whenever they went to fast food restaurants or somewhere, I had to cancel it because my time was really valuable for me, and my score at that point wasn't satisfying. So these were the things which I was upset at that moment, but now I don't regret that I did it.
Thank you, Shahsanam, thank you. Well, now let's talk about your IELTS individual aspects, actually. Yes, let's start with speaking. 7.5, fantastic. Okay, let's talk about your speaking exam, the exam process, the examiners, their attitude towards you, the questions, and everything. Okay.
The first time when I went into exam taking room, it was failure, because when I sat in front of the examiner and she told other person's name and it was a boy, I understood that it isn't me. When I told her it's not me, she asked me to leave the room. I was really shocked. I felt like maybe she's angry with me that I interrupted her. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. My father was waiting for me and he said me to stay calm. And the second time when I went to the room, examiner was I was surprised because she was smiling at me. She was really open. I thank God that I had such an examiner. I had such a easy topic for me about children, and I think it's up to person. If if a student is open-minded, is talking to the examiner, has a good attitude and very fantastic mood, examiner will do everything to help the student, because their main their goal, their aim is not failing students. Yeah, they want to help us. They want to see what we can do. Right, and then we talked. Sometimes the examiner interrupted me, but it was okay, as I read in some sites. I was told by my teacher that we shouldn't be surprised when they do this, because we don't have some time, for example. And actually, I knew everything about the exam, not despite the topics, how it goes.
What is more interesting for me, I'm not going to ask for part 1 and part 2 parts, actually, because I think you did your best in those parts. What concerns me is part 3. In part 3, I know most of the IELTS candidates in your age, actually, I'm afraid they tend not to have enough ideas, because part 3 questions, they are not easy. They are challenging, and despite beyond just your vocab knowledge, your grammar knowledge, you should have some sharp ideas. You should have broaden outlook in order to show the examiner that you are worth taking 7.5 or 8. So let's talk about part 3 questions and your answers.
Okay, I totally agree with you that I had in my experience there were some times when I didn't have any ideas, but it happened when I was at home practicing. Hopefully in the exam I didn't have this problem, because while I was doing I was having a self-conversation, a monologue at home. I read lots of books in order to enhance my knowledge. I looked through magazines, and I always prepared two questions beforehand. As my teacher gave me a wonderful advice, first, you shouldn't unfold yourself at first and second sections. Leave some space, leave some part of the brain which can work on section 3. And all the grammar, by the way you're speaking your first part and second part, try to remember all of those grammar structures in your head so you could use them on part 3. And these simple tips, these long days of working on myself helped me, so I didn't have this problem in the exam.
So you keep your kind of reserve until part 3.
Right.
Good. Your tips to improve speaking skills.
First of all, it is really important to find a native speaker. It doesn't matter whether you're talking to him or texting, because while thinking, a person's brain evolves at the same time, and a person tries to find some phrases which are suitable. Of course, it is really wonderful when a person could speak eye to eye to the examiner or to native speaker, but unfortunately I've heard a lot about many situations where the student can't find anyone. And you shouldn't panic. Actually, there is a way, and this was the method I used. I stood nearby the mirror, I took my phone, and I tried to, I put it right beside me. Then I looked at my reflection to keep an eye contact, and I was talking to myself. Anyone who passed in my family would think that I'm going nuts, but actually it really helped me. Then after having a conversation, I took my phone and I listened and wrote down my mistakes so that the next time I wouldn't do them. I paid attention to my pronunciation, and after some time, after a month and 2, I started noticing that my English got really better. The third tip is in speaking, being natural. I know that not every person can be friendly. There are some people who are shy, so they don't have to show that they can be friendly, because they can do it even worse. Examiners really value when a person is natural.
Okay, thank you, Rahsanam, for your speaking tips. Now we are going to switch to listening actually part. In this part you did very great job, 8.5. So let's talk about your listening sections actually. For example, in listening, the main thing is, we know that concentration, yes, how you dealt with that issue, Were the questions easy or difficult? Let's talk about that.
Alright, I'd like to start by telling that there are two types of doing the listening. First is listening for keywords, and second is listening to the whole text. I did the second one. Although it might sound like it is really the most complicated one, in my understanding it is the easiest, because by following people, I don't only write down the points, the words that I should, but I also remember some information, which is I'm really crazy about learning something new. And while doing this, I kind of evolved my two skills, and it was the most pleasurable for me because I didn't have to concentrate at all. I was just listening to them and writing it down. I did honestly, I did up to 5 listening tests a day. Although it might sound crazy,
up to 5 tests.
Up to 5, yeah. I didn't sacrifice myself. I didn't kind of struggle with this. I just loved it. I loved listening to them because when I listened to their accent, to their manners, I was really shocked, and it was like kind of silk to me. I just loved this sound, and I tried to copy. Then I realized that listening helps not only to get a good score at the actual test, but to improve the speaking too. As from listening, while person is concentrated and listens to the whole conversation, he also learns some new vocabulary or some idioms, which are used in more than one test.
Yeah. Okay. Roxana, let's talk about reading. In reading, yes. Listening and speaking, they are actually interconnected, yes. When you have good listening skills, you can have good speaking skills, actually. They're interconnected. But reading is kind of challenge because it takes more patience, yes. And especially when it comes to IELTS reading, there are, 3 passages, and particularly passage 3, it is research-based, really quite scientific, and many students struggle with vocab. They struggle with understanding the idea that lying behind. They struggle with paraphrasing. Yes, because I know many students, they really stuck in part 3, in reading passage 3. But getting 7. It takes somehow, yes, maybe you have kind of feature that. So what helped you to get 7 in reading actually? Is it just a matter of practice, or maybe your reserve for vocab, your high level of vocab or grammar? So what it takes to get 7 in reading?
Actually, I myself not really satisfied with my reading because it seemed really complicated for me during the test. I noticed that I didn't understand the part first. I didn't understand the meaning of the text, why this statement was put in there. I didn't, because I have kind of a habit. Before going to the questions, I read once. I just take a quick glance of the test. And at that time, I didn't understand anything, and I had struggles while doing it. But overall, I can say that reading is not very hard, but a person has to pay attention to many things. As you mentioned before, true, false, not given part is the hardest one, and many students struggling there, as well as with third passage. I think it is because of amount of words. In third passage, there are more than 500, 600 words. There are many passages, there are many outlines in there. From my own experience, I first went through the text and then answered questions, though it took some time. And I would agree with you that the third topic was the hardest, as it is, as you said before, it's based on scientific research. Right, in order to improve reading skills, person who knows English, even the person who knows English wonderful, for example, has struggles because not everyone has patience. And this was my main problem. When I'm stuck in the test, in the passage for more than 15 minutes, I get really exhausted. I feel awkward. I can't do this. And I switched to another one. And these 15 minutes for me are crucial, whether I can do that test, this exercise or not.
Well, Shosanam, you have been really great in giving those tips, and I think the IELTS test takers who are watching us now, they have had really these useful hints, yeah, which you have given now. And now in this last part, I'm going to give you part 2 topic, yes, in order to so that you can prove that actually your 7.5 was not by accident, yeah. So dear students, candidates, all viewers who are watching us now, I'm going to give Shosanam a topic, part 2 topic in IELTS. I will choose a topic randomly, yes, I promise that. She has not been told about it, it's just a random choice, okay? And she will demonstrate his part 2 speaking skills. Okay, Shosanam, here's a topic. Describe holiday that you have celebrated recently, and I'm going to give you paper, pen, and I will set the time, okay? You have a minute to get ready. Now you can start. Okay?
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, Shosanam. So remember, you have 2 minutes to talk, and after, don't worry if I stop you, just I will let you know that your time is over, okay? So you have to describe a holiday that you have celebrated recently. Now you can start.
Right, primarily 4 or 5 days ago, we had a family reunion when my father came from his work, where he visited the Astana, Kazakhstan, and my mother with my whole family. We went to the Tashkent city in order to see those Hilton Hotel, many other sightseeing places, and we were really excited in the morning when we were told we're going for a walk and we will have a great time. Then in the morning when we all went there, I was amazed to see that during 2 years' time, such a great place full of buildings, people, trees, and many wonderful places for children, for the representatives of elder age, and business working places were built here in Tashkent. We were really amazed. As my father is a history teacher, he himself, although he works in totally another place, he told us about the history of this place that even 10 years ago, a decade ago primarily, there used to be another place where simple civilians lived. There were simple houses and it wasn't as evolved as it is now. And turning to the point of what we did there, I could say that having come there, first of all, we went to Galaxy Planetarium. It was so amazing. We were lying on the soft chairs and watching how planets moved around our heads, and it was really breathtaking. My mother, who was there for the first time, she laughed as a child, and seeing her joy, I felt more confident, and I felt how love for my family fulfilled my heart. Then after visiting the Tashkent city, we had an idea to go.
Thank you, Roxana. Wow, yeah, you have been great. Actually, I'm green envy with you. Yeah, good. Are you intending to go there again? Do you have any plans to go there again?
If my family, then of course I would go anywhere with them, because it's such a nice time. We had such a nice time. They're like my parents and friends at the same time.
Okay, Shosanam, thank you. Well, in the last part of our today's talk, I would like you to give your what is your golden rule when you study? So while your preparation, yes, what's your golden principle that you can advise to our IELTS test takers, language learners? Yeah.
Right. It is not the matter of what the rules say. The first thing that matters is what the person says to himself. If people say you can't do it, listen to yourself. If the voice inside you says that I will, it is really possible to do. Everything should be done by the first intention. If your heart grows fonder to something, if you love something, you should catch, because not everyone has a chance to do what they love. And if you have a desire, you should never let it die. Should always work something out, get better day by day, so that the only person that matters should be yourself, and the only person who you listen to. Though many think that parents are in the first place, overall this life belongs to you, and you decide whether you can do something for yourself or not.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Shohsanam. Dear students, candidates who are going to take their IELTS exam, who are going to start their English language. Today we have talked to Shohsanam, who has really amazing results, 7.5 in IELTS, and she kind of gave insight into the secrets of her success. And she mentioned that, as she pointed out, there is no secret actually. There is no any secret ingredient. Everything depends on perseverance, hard work, and of course, as she pointed out, it was a matter of her confidence actually. So this was Inside Talks with Begzat Hayitov, and today our guest was Shohsanam Ravshanbekova. Thank you, Shohsanam, for coming and sharing your experience. I have been really delighted to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a wonderful time.
Yeah.